I was thinking of this childhood memory of my sister and I when we were younger. So, my sister is a year younger than me, and I think I was like 5 or 6, and I was sent to my room because I had done something, I don't know. And I was crying and crying, Mom, let me out, Mom, let me out. And my sister, she would just sit and watch me at the door, which I just was so frustrated by. So I would try to kick her, get away from me and move out. And she would sit just beyond my kicking reach. Now, my sister and I are the best of friends, and we were then and we are now. I can't remember my life without her because, being a year apart. And I remember thinking at that time, thinking about that situation, how my immaturity kept me from actually getting what I wanted. I could have stopped crying. Crying was my way of getting my mom's attention to let her know that I was upset, I didn't like it, I was, angry. And instead of going all the way into the room, I would just go right at the door. You're not going to put me in my room, but I knew I couldn't get out, so I would sit right at the door. When there was so much I could do in my room, there were books I could read, there were toys I could play with, I could even look out the window at things that were going on. I had so many options, but for me in my brain at that time, the option was to let my mom know I was not happy with her or with what was going on. And then my sister, who was my best friend and someone that I played with all the time, was sitting, of course, to aggravate me, right outside of my reach. And normally with her, I would play. She could, if I had calmed down and then relaxed, let out of my room, I would want to play with her rather than kick her because she was sitting right there. And I think sometimes our goal is that we want to reach or the things that are going on in our brain that we want changed, or a situation in our life, or we want something different. And sometimes in getting our goal, we self-sabotage and kick at our goals. And so they always stay just outside our reach. And instead of changing the way that I was thinking and making myself happier and making my mother happier and want to be around me, it would have been better to calm down and relax. And of course, now that I'm older and understand this process and being a mother myself, it changed the perspective of the way I would have treated that situation. But still, it's something funny that I think about and then use to think of other things. But sometimes now I think about the fact that I sabotage my goals now. And rather than having the playmate in my sister, I kick at her. And she stays just beyond my reach of a more enriching relationship. And sometimes we do that. We kick at our goals. We kick at the way that we think. We kick at forgiving someone. We kick at moving on and moving forward with our lives. And sometimes it's just a mind shift, something we don't understand, something that we just do because we're in the habit of doing. And it's just a little bit of a degree of change that can get us into a happier state, and just something we don't understand, something new. Well, my name is Tracy Thompson, and I'm a life coach, a mentor. And if you would like to know more about what I do and how I help, we have a very heavy time here in this life with all that's going on with COVID. And there's many reasons that we're scared or upset. Some of us are scared or upset because we're worried about the COVID. Others of us are scared or upset because of what's going on outside in our country that we love. Others of us are scared and upset about the people around us, worried about what they might say or do if we do one thing or don't do another. And so it's a very heavy atmosphere right now in the world. And we wonder what we can do. And it becomes so big. The world is big. And when we look around at what's going on in the world, it becomes very oppressive for us in that we want to do something, but what can we do? Well, I went through that during the 2020 summer, concerned, worried, what do I do? And wanting to do something to make it better. But then I began to realize that maybe I can't change the big world, but I can change my small world and make it better. And I started looking at little things that I could change. The way I thought about someone, the way maybe just picking up the garbage off the ground, or helping a neighbor, or just listening to somebody on the phone. Little small things that change our own personal world. And everybody doing those little small things to change our own personal world will change the bigger world in general and put out a more spirit of forgiving and love and joy. But sometimes we don't know how to reach that. We don't know how to change our minds. We don't know what to do with those crazy thoughts that just keep coming in, the negativity that we beat ourselves up with. We start to gain weight, especially during COVID because we didn't have so much to do, right? We were inside so much. And we start to think negatively about ourselves. There's so much negativity around us. It makes sense that we're doing this. And we're wondering, how can we move forward when so much of us are still in our homes, even though others of us are outside actually doing something, but we still are cut off from more things that we want to do because of the restrictions that are going on. But there are other options, like there was for me sitting in that doorway. Instead of sitting in the in-between, I had other options. I could have read a book, right? I could have played with my sister right there in the doorway instead of kicking her or kicking at her. I had other things that I could have done. There are small and simple things that change a habit. We just need to establish it and figure out where we want to go. There is a future in your life. There is a future happiness that you can learn, a change of ideas, a change of understanding. And this can be done simply. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. Sometimes we look at January and we're like, oh my gosh, it's so big. I want to change my life. I want to do something big. I want to be better. I want to do better. And you can, but we don't have to do it quite so big. Through small and simple things, big things can happen. If you look at an airplane, for instance, it flies in one direction. But if you change it by 1 degree, you can find yourself in a totally different area, a totally different place, in a better place even. You can change 1 degree and go to a worse place. But if you make a solid effort and change 1 degree in a better way, you find yourself in a better place. And we think we need to make these huge changes in order to get there, but we don't. We can make small and simple changes. I can look at your lifestyle, look at what you're doing, and help you change the way you think about yourself. Just changing the way we think about ourselves puts us in a whole new place of power, a stronger place. And so this is what I want to do for you. I want to be able to help you to change your life. And even with children, even with work, whatever it is that you want to do, we can change it. You can find a better way. And I know how to help you. My name is Tracy Thompson. I'm 50 years old, a lot of experience behind me. I have 6 children, 5 daughters, 1 son. Very happy mom. I'm married for 30 years. And I have 4 beautiful grandchildren, which I just love them. 2 boys and 2 girls. They bring me much happiness, my family does. And I want to be able to help you and teach you how to be happy. I didn't used to be. When I was younger, I feel like I went screaming and shouting into my life in change. And I would look back and go, why, Tracy? Why did you have to scream and shout there? But then I began to accept that that's my way. Sometimes I go the hard way. But every time I would learn and grow and become better and learn how to be still and to be calm, to be able to look around and find the happy things that make your life better. I was so serious, and now I laugh more. And I want you to laugh more. I want to teach you what I know to help you to be happier. Just click the link below or around me, wherever it might be at this time, and then let's get a call. I want to call you. We'll talk for about 20 minutes, and you can decide if I'm good for you or I'm good or not. I don't reach everyone. We're all different people. And if I don't work for you, I hope that you continue till you find someone who does. We need people to help us. I need people to help me, and you need people to help you. And if I'm not your fit, I hope that you find someone who is. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that we can become friends and learn new ways of doing things in our lives.